Hello, you guys. We are Bridging the Divide. I am Leland,
And I'm Ethan.
and we decided to start this podcast due to what happened to Charlie Kirk. Our goal is to unify the two sides a little bit more, and I hope that we can do that through this podcast.
We're,
Sorry, go ahead.
we're definitely going to be more of a right-leaning perspective, but we hope to
Absolutely.
be able to open up kind of a civil discourse, just like Charlie did, where we can encourage civil conversation and have a discussion on both beliefs and opinions.
Now, absolutely. And now, obviously, we do not have a professional setup. We are using one mic for the time being, and we're in an apartment building sitting on the floor. Um, but we hope that we can open your eyes a little bit. So, today we're going to actually talk about Charlie Kirk and what happened because we were there. Um, we're from southern Utah County, and or I am. Ethan's from Idaho,
Yeah,
and we were big fans of Charlie Kirk, or I was for a long time, and then I introduced him to Ethan, and we decided to go to the Prove Me Wrong event, and we were there when the pew pew happened, and it was scary. It was really scary.
we didn't think it was real. We thought it was a joke because of the timing of what he was talking about with. Am I allowed to say?
Mm-mm.
Okay, with school pew pewing and different mass pew pewing around the world, and so when he had just mentioned it and suddenly there was that shot and he was down, we thought it was a joke, and so there was maybe a solid 3 seconds that the people in the audience just kind of stood there
Mm-hmm.
waiting for him to come up and say it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
When he didn't show up, that's when all the fear set in and we all went to the ground. Um, as many of you have seen through the videos, and actually I'd say the majority of you have seen through the videos, um, it was just pure insanity. We actually had to run through the water of the arena, I guess kind of arena bowl it was, to escape. We didn't know if we were going to get shot at. And so it's really affected us a lot more than we thought it would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, do you want to tell your story about the concert that you went to?
Yeah, so that happened on, let's see, was it Wednesday or
It was Wednesday.
it was Wednesday. And then I actually had a concert with my sister that we were going to in Salt Lake City, and that was on Friday. And so, and I had cried about it quite a bit, but I thought that going to a concert would be a good reprieve for the night, and that I would be able to, have a fun time. And then I got to the concert, and we were in the mosh pit because it was a general admission concert, and something, I think it was just being in a large crowd for the first time since what happened, and it just set me off, and it was a band full of 16-year-old boys, and so the crowd was predominantly 16-year-old girls, and I just lost it, and I couldn't hold it together. I was bawling my eyes out. I can't even explain how much I wanted to leave the whole time. And it wasn't because the music wasn't good. The music was great, but every single time I closed my eyes, I just kept seeing it over and over and over, and it was gory, it was scary, and it was not something that anyone should ever have to see. And so that was really, really hard for me. So me and my sister and I, we ended up leaving the concert a little bit early.
And it's just, you know, we're still kind of scared of being in a group setting with all those people or with really anybody because, you know, watching someone pass away in front of you. I mean, I'm 21, she's 20, and seeing someone pass away in front of you when we're this young in such a brutal way, it's really not something you can forget, and it's not something you can't not think about at least 100 times a day.
Exactly.
And we've received, it's really opened up our eyes to the amount of support that we have in our friend group, our family. And if someone is struggling with this kind of thing, we recommend, reaching out to family
Or reach out to us,
Yeah.
We are more than happy to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And we just that's our biggest goal with this podcast. We want to help people and we want to change people's minds,
Yeah, we're not here to tell you that what you're feeling is wrong or what your opinion is wrong. We're just trying to open your eyes to what we think is right and what we think is the truth.
Exactly. And so I think we're going to move on to what the left's response has been to the pew-pewing and what the right's response has been to it. So I actually did an interview with CNN. It was live, and so I can't really share the clip with you guys, but I basically, it was actually pretty cool because, you, as someone who is very conservative and very Republican, you think of CNN as, oh, no, they're the bad guy, And it was very eye-opening to see how many people that I talked to within CNN that were so sad and just mourning for Charlie and just couldn't get over the fact that this had happened. And so that was really interesting and really cool.
It's just, it speaks volumes about how he had a universal appeal. I mean, regardless of what side you on, if you are of a healthy mind, which there are a lot of people out there who aren't, it was very clear to see that he wanted to have an open discourse with anybody. He wanted to have that where anybody would feel comfortable to discuss with him, to argue with him.
Exactly.
He went on college campuses because he wanted to deal with the people who were most in the field, who were most having their opinions changed or their eyes opened to the way the world works. And unfortunately, there were a lot of people out there who had their eyes open to not quite reality.
Exactly.
And so he wanted to go in there and he wanted to disprove, and he wanted to tell them the truth of how it was, whether they wanted to accept it or not. And that's what we hope to do is
Exactly.
to tell you what is the truth, and you can accept it if you want. We're not going to judge you either way.
Exactly. And you know what? In politics, sometimes, and Charlie did this too, sometimes it's okay to just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
There comes a time where you realize that you're not going to change somebody's mind, and that's fine.
And what we're going to say is going to be a lot of opinion.
Absolutely.
I'm a pretty emotional person, and so is she.
Absolutely.
But we're going to do our best to try and keep it as grounded and as fact-based as possible.
Yeah, so as for the left's response, that was my experience. Then there's my experience online. That's completely different.
It needs to be made clear that is the extremely vocal and
exactly.
I'm going to say it, crazy minority.
Exactly. The people who were celebrating this tragic event, and a lot of them, I think, was it up to 700 of them that have lost their jobs?
Yeah.
Because of it. And you know what? Sadly, I support that because
we support them losing their jobs. Charlie once said that you can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. So we wouldn't want someone who is a sociopath or a psychopath to be celebrating the death of someone just because they didn't agree with them.
Exactly.
Charlie was not an evil person, regardless of what people on the other side of the aisle would tell you.
You know what? And I understand that he had some ideas that you don't agree with. That's fine. You don't have to agree with him.
Yeah.
But you do have to realize that he is a human being with 2 young children,
A husband and a father.
and a wife.
Yeah.
And ultimately he's a child of God. You know?
Whether you believe in a deity or not, we all share a common ancestor. We all are family in one way or another. It doesn't make any sense to celebrate the death of someone just because you disagreed with them. That doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
Why would you do something like that? He never would have done that with somebody else. And especially, I mean, when we were there, his workers had an entire line of people who were ready to come and debate him. And he was so grateful for those people, because without them he couldn't do his job.
Exactly.
And he couldn't sway minds. He couldn't get his point across. And he wanted them to get their point across. There were protesters there, and he looked at them and he said, "These are the people that are scared because they're not willing to talk. They're not willing. They know that what they have to say isn't going to land."
Exactly. Well, and he has a quote. I can't remember exactly what it says, but he said at one point, when people stop talking, that's when it gets violent.
Yeah, and
that's exactly what happened.
The person who killed him, I'm not going to name him. He's not worthy of being given a name.
Well, and he's alleged. We don't know. He
Yeah.
hasn't, this is a country of
proven
you are
innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
And but I'm not going to name him if it is him, but he was a coward. He was too scared to debate Charlie, and so he silenced him.
Exactly.
He
But he
knew-
didn't silence him.
Yeah,
He made a million Charlie Kirks by shooting that one single bullet.
And the best thing is that hopefully they're not as amateur as we are with this.
We're learning, you guys. We're
If
trying.
you guys have any advice for improving this setup with little to no budget, that would be very helpful.
Yeah. We got married a month ago. And we're just starting out, you guys.
We're pretty broke.
Yeah.
But this is going to sound bad, but I mean it in a good way. I don't think there could have been better circumstances to start your marriage off. I mean, we saw someone pass away in a very graphic way that we love dearly. And that's not saying it's a good thing, but it's saying that, the marriage that we have is going to be
a lot easier than what we've seen so
for,
far.
Forever stronger,
Yeah.
because we went through this tragedy together, and we've been each other's support throughout this.
Absolutely.
And it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time, because we lose what I think of as a living angel, but at the same time our marriage is now forever stronger. Our relationship is more solid because we went through this trial together.
Well, and not only that, but actually last night we went to a little vigil up in North Utah County, and it was a pretty small one, and we met a lot of wonderful people who wanted us to be healed and wanted to continue I don't want to say the fight, because I want to take away from the fight of politics.
They wanted us to continue the message that Charlie had.
Exactly, which is not only politics but also Christianity.
Yeah.
And
whether you accept Christianity or not, what Charlie what Charlie talked about in those debates was the truth. It was fact based, and it was the truth.
Exactly. And we actually met a lady who was there, and she actually recognized us.
She stood behind
Yes,
us.
she was behind us
Yeah.
at the rally, and she was going through a really rough time too. And it was interesting to see all of these people who they just they're just trying to get by like we are. And I've seen a couple of videos of people saying, I'm a leftist, but I'm going to go undercover in a Charlie vigil, and kind of reporting back how awful it was and blah blah blah. And ours, it was literally tears and hugs and prayers and singing.
There's I feel like it's the cowardly thing to think the worst of your enemies. Just because you disagree with someone politically doesn't make them a monster.
Exactly.
It's their actions is what makes them who they are.
Exactly.
And people make mistakes, but if it's a consistent pattern of vilifying people just because you disagree with them, then you are no better than the person that killed Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
That is not someone you should look up to. That is someone who mercilessly took a father and a husband, a human being, who had a life, who was providing for his family, who is a good husband, a good man. And if you just look past the politics, you can see that he's just like you. He's just like any of us.
He's just trying to get by in life, He's just trying to make a name for himself and to be remembered. And yeah, so kind of switching over to the right side, it's been very interesting to see their response to his death. And I think the biggest thing is that there has been so many signs and so many vigils, and so and the signs say things that are very encouraging, like, you just made 1,000,000 Charlie Kirks, or I am Charlie Kirk, or
We are Charlie
we are
Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, or
Live like Charlie.
exactly. We actually have one in our window that's facing the road that says, "We got him, Charlie," and it's been very, very interesting to see not only just the signs, but people will write little notes, and it's what is that Bible verse?
Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the rest of thy Lord. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah,
But
something like
we
that.
we see those all the time.
All the
I mean,
time.
Charlie. There was an interview that he had where someone said, "When it all goes away, if it all were to go away, what would you want to be remembered for?" And he said that he wanted to be remembered for the strength that he had in his faith.
He said, "Courage for
Yeah,
my faith."
courage for his faith. And even though, he was an evangelical Christian and we're a different kind of Christian, he, Christ is the same.
Exactly.
He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He believed a little bit different things than we do, but no matter what, it was always the truth. It always, boils down to the fundamentals of the gospel, and that Jesus is the Christ, and that's all he wanted to be known for. He has an amazing movement with Turning Point USA, and that movement will never die. It'll be stronger now, even without Charlie, because of his martyr. He is going to be remembered forever. No one can wipe his memory away.
Exactly.
And although he didn't die for that, he didn't know he was going to die. I think that he was prepared to go.
I think so too.
He knew that what he was doing was what God wanted him to do. He also did an interview once where he said, he doesn't ask what God can give to him. He asks what he can do for God. And I think that's what we should all do.
Absolutely.
Whether you believe in Christianity or not, ask that higher power that you believe in. If you believe in a higher power, what can you do for them that would make the world better? How can you make
Exactly.
it a better world?
Because ultimately, that's one of the reasons that we're here, is to make the world a better place. And we're here to, a lot of people, like, that's their big thing, is that they want to be remembered. And the best way to be remembered is to make the world a better place.
Michael Jackson actually had a great quote, and it's in a pretty good song, but it's if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. And it's true. There's so many different things that we can improve about ourselves.
Exactly.
And we need to ignore the vanities of the world and wanting to give ourselves pronouns and identifying ourselves by our sexualities, that stuff that is irrelevant. We need to focus on serving the common man in any way that we can, serving our fellow man.
And serving your enemies.
Yeah, love your enemies. It's the right thing to do.
Exactly. Let's see what is next. So our next thing is moving forward. What should we do moving forward? And we've kind of touched on that a little bit. I think moving forward, we need to, as the Conservative Party, or as whatever party you are, I think we need to chill out from the aggressive political stances.
We need to stay away from violence and wanting to promote extremism. That is what causes these tragedies where we lose people like Charlie and me. And this is going to sound bad, but although I can't really remember people on the left who have passed in this way, we can't allow that to happen.
Exactly.
Political violence has no place in this country or in any civilized country.
Exactly.
There is no excuse for political violence.
Yeah, and I think moving forward also, we need to humanize each other. There was the lady at the vigil that we went to last night, and she said that she told a story that she has a young, or at the time she had a young autistic son, and she was going on a vacation and they had to go on a plane, and she saw that the girl that was in front of her, sitting in front of her son, that she was texting her friend saying, "The kid in front of me is kicking my chair. I just want to punch him in the face." And so, and the kid was like 8 at the time, right? And if you've ever been around an autistic child who's on a plane, it is, or in a confined space, or somewhere where you're supposed to stay still. I mean, I have an autistic brother, and
it's just not possible
it's hard.
for them.
It's really, really hard for them, And so, she was immediately just super, super mad. And
the mom was.
the mom was, yes,
very mad.
Very, very mad at this girl. And the girl didn't know that she had seen this text. And so the woman was so mad that she just said, all I could think of to do was to write her a note, but she couldn't find a pen because they're on a plane. And so what do you do when you want to let out anger, but you can't find a way to do it? You pray. And so she prayed to God and she said, what would you like me to do?
And the answer she got was humanize him. So she talked to the lady's family who were on the plane, and she just started sharing about her life and about her kids' lives. And she told about her young autistic son. And she said that she could see the light change in the lady's eyes as she realized that her son had these difficulties in this life of autism and these different difficulties. And once the flight was over, there was no anger at each other anymore. There was no hate. There was no wanting to cause harm or violence. It was the mutual understanding that they were all human. And I think that's what we need to do.
We need to realize that politics in the end don't matter.
It's
They're a worldly thing.
We need to let's think eternal about this.
Exactly.
If you believe in a higher being, if you believe in God, if you believe in Christ, then you need to understand, you should realize by now that the politics of this world doesn't matter.
And that's coming from two people who like politics.
Yeah, I have a 47 hat. We attended a Charlie Kirk thing, a Charlie Kirk speech. She attended America Fest twice.
Yeah.
We love politics, but it causes so much harm, and it's so apparent to see the harm that's been caused now. You need to think eternally. You need to think about the long-term consequences. In 4 years, when Trump is no longer president, are you really going to care? Or in 20 years, we don't know who's going to be president then, but you're not going to think about Trump. You're not going to think about whoever was in charge the 10 years the 10 years prior. You probably don't even think about Bill Clinton right now.
Or Obama, honestly,
Obama.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's just so important to understand that when you go past Republican and liberal, or Republican and Democrat, when you go past trans and gay and all that, you get to the base thing, which is a child of God.
We are all human. We all make mistakes. That's what makes us human.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to understand that, you know, Jesus taught us that you need to not only pray for people that you love, but pray for people who you hate.
Especially pray for people
exactly.
that you hate.
And also, I don't know if this is in the Book of Mormon or the Bible, but we're taught that when you forgive, you're supposed to forgive someone not 7 times, but 7. Is it 7?
70 times 7.
Yeah, 70 times 7.
It's not saying forgive them 400 times, but it's more of like forgive them as many times as it takes.
Exactly.
Christ has never-ending mercy.
Exactly.
And if we want to emulate him, if we want to be like him, or we want to be like Charlie, then we should always be trying to forgive. We should be always trying to see their side and help them understand our side.
Exactly. And I think it's important to understand that while politics are great, politics can be really fun to follow, and you know, there are a lot of people out there that feel very, very strongly about this. I mean, I do. And you may not feel like somebody is a human being, but you need to look inside your heart and think about, how do I think people would react if it were me?
Would you really want people to be cheering on as you are shot, as you are taken away, as you pass away? Would you really want people to cheer you on as your wife or your husband is left alone? Would you really want your kids to grow up without a parent?
Exactly. Well, and I think the thing that hit me the hardest is finding out that when it happened, that his daughter tried to run to him because she got scared by the sound. That just shows. And the fact that she's 3.
Erica Kirk said to her daughter, to explain why her father wasn't coming home, is that he is on a work trip with Jesus right now. And I can't imagine the burden of trying to raise a child on your own and trying to explain to them when they get old enough of why their dad is really gone.
Especially where the video is so popular and so
Graphic.
easily accessible.
There's probably not going to be sometime soon. She is probably going to see her dad die, and
Just shouldn't happen.
it's going to be something that she's going to have to live with the rest of her life, just like Erica.
And frankly, I have to live with it for the rest of my life. I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, we
I mean, I never met Charlie, but I feel connected to him.
he was someone that we loved and cared for deeply. Having him gone is like having a brother that we never had gone.
Exactly.
We didn't think that it would affect us this much, his loss, but seeing it happen and feeling the heartbreak that Erica must be feeling. Well, she's probably feeling it worse than we are.
Oh, absolutely.
But the heartbreak, and it's we still sometimes can't convince ourselves that we really witnessed his passing, that we witnessed the brutality of his murder.
And, we were 15 feet away from him.
We saw everything. We heard the gunshot. We saw the impact. We saw everything. There was nothing that could be done, and there's nothing that we can do to really remove the image from our minds.
Exactly.
But the main thing for people who saw this, and for the people that are struggling with the mental illness or the mental image of this, and struggling with trying to figure out why this happened, is you aren't alone.
Absolutely.
There are millions of us who love and support Charlie, and are willing to talk, who want to talk to you, who want to help you through this experience. We're better together. We're stronger together. Charlie wanted a unified country. We need to be unified. No matter what side of the aisle that you're on, you need to understand that we are all in this together.
Absolutely. And I think it's also important to understand that not only do we need to reach out to each other, but we need to reach out to God. My favorite painting, I'm actually staring at it. It's on the other wall.
I'm sure we'll show it at some point.
Yeah, probably. It's my favorite painting of all time. It is Jesus reaching into the water to help up Peter after he sank because his faith kind of faltered. And it's a beautiful painting, and it just shows that he is always there. Even when your faith falters, he is just waiting, pleading with you to just take his hand.
No matter how far you think you are, or how deep in an abyss you think you are in, there's no place that you can go where his light can't reach you.
Exactly. So
we're gonna end on that note.
Yeah.
Give us tips, give us anything, give us talking points, or ask us questions.
Exactly.
We want to talk, we want to hear from you guys, or just, I don't know, be nice.
Give us a like, subscribe,
We're hoping to make this kind of a usual thing, but we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
It will happen. We will post every now and again, if not more often.
Yeah. And I think the last thing is just Erica and I don't know their names, but children, we feel deeply for you.
We love you.
And we're praying for you.
We love your husband. We admire you all so much, and for the strength that you've showed, Erica. And the last thing that I want to say to the people that are watching, if there are anybody watching, we love you. We don't know who you are. We will never know your names probably, but we love you.
And we love you regardless of which side you're on.
Or what you believe in, or who you are.
Exactly.
We want this to be a safe place for all sides.
Exactly.
Um, so
So, yeah, we will see you guys next time.
yeah, bye.
Bye.